I arrived on the Nile at dawn. The river flowed silently, carrying centuries of whispers of empires long forgotten. I felt the weight of history pressing gently upon my shoulders. Every civilization greets a stranger differently. Here, the Nile itself seemed to watch, as if questioning why I had come to witness what was slipping away. The city pulsed with life. Merchants shouted, animals brayed, children played. Yet beneath it all, I sensed fragility, a quiet knowledge that time was running out. A harp sang softly beside the river. Its notes tried to outshine the chaos, but even music bends to impermanence. I wondered if Cleopatra had heard such melodies in her youth. The children played, unaware of history crumbling around them. Their laughter was a rebellion against inevitability, a spark of defiance. The sun sank, casting long shadows over the city. Each stone seemed to hold a story, each whisper of wind a secret. Beyond the walls, the desert stretched endlessly. The silence demanded attention. Here, history's pulse felt tangible beneath my feet. A shrine almost swallowed by sand, its carvings told stories untouched by Rome, by conquest. Cleopatra's vision lingered here, hidden yet persistent. Inside, I felt whispers, memory of voices. They spoke of ambition tempered by wisdom, of a queen who sought more than dominion. Every step through the sand felt like tracing history's heartbeat. Each grain held a fragment of Cleopatra's story. At night, the river whispered. I imagined the conversations Cleopatra had in solitude, decisions that shaped empires yet remained invisible to history. The river mirrored fragments of her presence. I could almost see her walking through these streets centuries ago, her shadow guiding the future she envisioned. The temple loomed ahead, a skeleton of ambition and artistry. History had hidden Cleopatra's truth in plain sight. Light streamed through the cracks, illuminating murals and hieroglyphs. Each beam seemed deliberate, as if she had known someone like me would arrive. Each carving a message, each symbol a heartbeat preserved for eternity. Cleopatra's true power was not conquest. It was the ability to make time itself remember. Scrolls untouched by conquerors spoke of a vision, a world preserved with knowledge, art, and culture. She had built Egypt not for herself, but for the future. Knowledge once burned brighter than any torch. Now only dust remained, yet Cleopatra's intent lingered, resilient. I walked among flowers Cleopatra once tended. Her presence was here, a quiet defiance against time itself. Even in stone, she commanded attention, not as a ruler, but as someone who dared to shape history with vision and grace. And then she was there, alive in a moment I never imagined.
So, you've come to see what time has forgotten.
Her eyes held not just power, but depth, wisdom, and a quiet sorrow. We didn't speak. Words were unnecessary. I felt her intentions, her dreams for Egypt, and the burden of knowing history would twist them. She showed me visions of a kingdom she wished to preserve, not conquered, but understood, remembered, and respected. The Nile reflected her dreams, flowing onward like her vision. I realized why she had endured, not for power, but for legacy. Her presence settled into me like stones in a riverbed. They would echo for far longer than my time here. And then she vanished just as suddenly as she appeared. Yet her presence lingered in the chamber, the garden, the river, everywhere Egypt's spirit remained. I left the city carrying her vision with me. Every ruined wall, every stone whispered lessons she had etched into eternity. The desert stretched before me, vast and unbroken. Each grain of sand seemed alive with memory, with stones that would never fully fade. As I returned to the Nile, I felt a quiet reverence for the land and the people who had carried her legacy. History's heartbeat was still here, waiting to be felt. And though centuries separate me from her, I know that some presences never fully vanish. Cleopatra's Egypt endures, in stone, in story, and in the flow of the eternal river. Thanks for exploring ancient Egypt with me. If you want to keep going, the next portal takes me into ancient Greece, where I sit down with Socrates himself.